I'm back out between my 7th and 8th vlogs. Now why am I back out? Why am I doing this? I just thought I'd do an addendum. So for my friend Martin Carlson, who loves these vlogs, this isn't an attempt to go daily or more than once a week. This is just a little addendum just to give you a little bit more of a flavour of the Beaux villages de France of Montsoreau. Now over my shoulder to the left of me is the River Loire and the village of Montsoreau with its gorgeous chateau. Dawn is already happened and I've got my shot. So what I'm going to do now is just swing the camera around and just give you a little bit of an idea of what it is that I have in front of me. And hopefully the sun, as it's directly to my left, won't get too much into the vision of the camera. I've turned the camera towards what would have been dawn. So down below this the line of the horizon you can see the chateau, or you might be able to see the chateau of Montsoreau, as well as the village itself and its church. There's also the River Loire in the background there. The cloud that's going across from left to right is actually the steam coming out of the nuclear plant at Canon. I was hoping it might have created something interesting in the actual dawn itself. It didn't quite do what I wanted, but that's okay. I do have something, and it does actually look quite nice as the sun was coming up. Now, one of the frustrating things for me in this particular shot, and there's nothing I can do about it, is the vineyards are actually parallel to the camera, and I would prefer if the vines were looking straight down towards the Loire. Why they planted them like that? No idea. I always was under the impression that the vines actually had to go downhill rather than across. It's actually better for the plants themselves, but that's that's just something that a vineyard owner told me once. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Now what am I going to do from here? Now I thought that as I'm up early in Montsoreau, there's two other locations I'm going to do. Now one of them I'm going to see if I can go back towards looking at the chateau itself across the river, as there is a nice bit of cloud in the sky, which I didn't have the other day. And then there's a view that I found looking behind the chateau towards the Loire. So let's get on and get down to the River Loire before the good light has gone. I've come back down to the banks of the River Loire, looking towards the Château de Montsoreau across there. So as you can see, unfortunately, this bank of cloud seems to have just appeared from nowhere. When I was up in the vineyards, the scene certainly didn't look like that from where I was, but sometimes things can be quite deceptive. It's very, very frustrating. And the other thing that's very frustrating for me is, even though there's that cloud there, there was just a little bit of form as I was driving down, and there was sunlight, and the sunlight again has disappeared behind the cloud bank to the east. Very frustrating. What can I do about it? The only thing that I can do is just bank it again, and then when I've got another time, some more time free, is just come down and get this shot. Now I am wondering whether to do this as a definite dawn shot rather than just after dawn. I think both will work, because with the chateau there I'd prefer to have it side lit. So is it dawn? I think it's both a pre-dawn, dawn, and just after dawn shot for me. Pre-dawn, where I get that nice colour seeping through the sky, and then with a long exposure the river will be flattened out and I'd get some definite kind of reflection in the river. Dawn, when the sun is just near the horizon, and then just after dawn, where the sun has peaked over the horizon and is then hitting the side of the chateau. So I've got a few things in mind for this particular place, but I'll be back for this place. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get my shot like I did with the first shot. I'll get something in the bag for definite here. It's only half an hour from where I live, so it's not too far to come in the morning. Now what I am going to do is, I can see behind the camera there is actually some breaks in the cloud. So I'm going to go back over to Montsoreau, and there's a view that I found the other day on Google Earth that overlooks the chateau, and I'm going to take a look at that and see if there's something that I can do with that to get a clearer shot of the chateau looking towards the north. So I shall see you in just a minute.